During my 24-hour celebration livestream, me and Commander Cactus Juggler went from 2 accounts with nothing other than a Sidewinder and 1,000 credits, all the way to Anacondas in less than 14 hours, and today I'm going to go you through step by step what we did and how you do it. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down-to-Earth Astronomy. So we're going to go through the steps what we did, at least, to go from a Sidewinder to an Anaconda. Now, it was not really a speed run per se. I mean, we were spending a lot of time chatting with people in chat and weren't really that efficient. If you were doing the speed run, I guess you could at least shave off an hour or two of that time that we did. But we're going to go through the steps. I'm not going to go into too much detail with every single build, but I'm trying to give some general pointers, and where it's relevant, I'm going to link to more videos in the more info icon for more details if you want more details on a specific topic. So the first thing we did right after we started on our brand new characters was we winged up and we headed out into a high intensity resource extraction site. Out there we would follow the police ships around, and whenever they found something wanted, we would target that, and we would just keep a target and follow the wanted ship around as it was being killed by the police and not fire our weapons. When the ship reached about 20 to 30% hull, we would then open up and fire with our weapons, help the police kill the ship, and we would then collect the bounty. We would then keep doing this, follow the police around, kill whatever they're doing in our stock Sidewinders. Nothing was changed, just pure stock Sidewinder. Until we had about 1 million or 2. I mean, it's really up to you, but I say 1 million or 2 is good. At which point we headed back to a station with a decent selection of modules and ships, and we bought ourselves a Cobra Mark III. We then fitted it with better shields, which was the main reason why we got this ship, and whatever weapons we could get. Now, the weapon loadout, again, is not important. You're not the one going to be doing the damage. You're just going to be using it to aggro whatever ship there are. But if there is decent weapons, fit. But don't spend a lot of money on upgrading your power plant and getting expensive weapons. Just get whatever you can. That's not too fancy. That's easy to use. So something gimbaled is recommended here, or even turrets if you can find that. We then headed back out to the extraction site, and we kept going. At this point, we had about 1 million, I think, in credits left after we bought the Cobra. So we kept following the police around, did the same thing for a few hours, and collected, I think, around 4 million credits in total. So after we'd done that for a while, we then went back, sold cashed in all the bounties that we've collected. So we had around 5 million credits. We then stripped down the Cobras that we bought and refitted them for exploration. That means all the core internals were downgraded to the lightest possible modules that we could get that would still make the ship flyable. We of course upgraded the frameshift drive to get the longest possible jump range, removed the shields, got ourselves a fuel scoop. It's very important, get a decent fuel scoop, an advanced discovery scanner, and a detailed surface scanner. So we had a very rudimentary exploration build. Now we had around 25 light years of jump range, which was pretty good with a decent fuel scoop. We then plotted a route using Road to Riches, with an exploration method that gives you a lot of valuable exploration data very quickly. I have a separate video on that, so you can click the more info icon if you want to get some more details on that. I will also link to a video about if you're going to build your first exploration ship. So if you're not really sure what you need to do, there's also a video that you can go and you can watch where I go in a little more detail about exploration ships and where you could start. So we plotted the route using the Road to Riches from the current location and out towards the Robigo system out close to southern Cias. The reason why we plotted it to there, because that's where we're going to start the next step after this. So we simply just began flying the route to be plotted. We made sure that we came by, I think 50 or 60. We had 57 systems in our list, but we skipped a few. So it's somewhere between 50 and 60 systems. And we scanned the planets that were given in the route or in the route planner. So we made sure we collected that data. Now, because we were in a wing, we were able to do this a little faster because exploration data is shared across the wing if you're in the same system, it seems. So we could split out when we were in system and go to 2 different planets and scan those, speeding up the process a little bit here. We ran through all the systems one at a time, and eventually we ended up out in Robigo. Now, at the time we were here, there were only 3 factions in the system, and only 2 of the factions actually owned a station. So what we did was we went to one of the stations and we sold our exploration data 1 system at a time until we were allied with the local faction owning that station. At which point we moved over to the other station system that were owned by another faction and sold our data there until we were also allied with them. Once we were that, we just sold the rest because there were no point in us keeping the rest of the data. We just needed to cash in, and I think at this point, after we cashed in all those systems, we had around 40 million credits at this point. So this has done two things for us. It's done several things for us. It's done three things actually. We got allied with two of the factions in Rubigo, which we're going to need in a little bit. We collected a bunch of money, 40 million, which is not bad. And we increased our exploration rank. These three things are key to our next step. So by running the road to riches, we actually solved three problems at once. It's three birds with one stone. Beautiful thing to do. So we went back, we went further away from the bubble, and we headed out towards Sothis and Ceos. And on the Sothis and Ceos, we were able to buy ourselves a Type 7. And again, get a good frameshift drive on it, lightweight it as much as we can. We're going for jump range here, and then fill it up with cabins. I have a video also showing that method up here, so you can go and watch that if you want a little bit more details about the fit, what you should fit for, and how the missions work. So after we got we kept the Cobra. That's important. We kept the Cobra. So after we got the passenger Type 7, we headed back to Rubigo again, and we picked up passenger missions for Sothis. So serious atmospheric in Sothis. These are very well-paying missions, and there's a ton of them, and they spawn very easily, and they pay a very decent amount. You can easily get between 2.5 and 3 million per cabin. And the important part is that this counts as exploration missions. So because we increased our exploration rank by running Road to Riches, we would be more likely to be offered the high-paying missions because we had a higher exploration rank. We think we managed to get to Ranger, which is 2 ranks away from Elite at this point. So we were actually quite high up in our rank. So we were offered some very decent missions. We began running those passenger missions. We ran back and forth between Rubigo and Sirius, and just ferry passengers. And we did that for quite a few hours, almost until I think just past the 13-hour mark. At this point, we had both collected around 200 million credit if we include the price of the Type 7 that we were flying. So I think that thing would sell for around 25 million or something. So we probably had around 175 million credits, and then we headed back to Ceos, where we had stored. We did a ship transfer of the Cobra to Rubigo. Once the Cobra was here, we just did that at some point during our mission looping. So it was here when we were done. So when we came back and we had enough money, we would jump back into the Cobra, sell the Type 7. Which would get us up to those 200 million credits, which was actually more than we needed. It turns out we had around 40 million to spare when we were done. And at this point, we then headed back into the bubble, found a good system where we could get a Anaconda. And at the 13-hour and 44-minute mark, we both purchased the Anaconda, and that was pretty much it. And then within less than 14 hours, we were now sitting in an Anaconda and were ready to do whatever we want. We then decided from this point on to, again, fit it for exploration, and then we went out and began getting materials that we need to unlock Elvira Matuk, because she was one of the engineers that does grade 5 frameshift drives. So we got all the materials we needed to do those engineering roles. Then we went out and got the Suntail relics that we need to actually unlock Elvira. Went down to Longshot Base, I believe it is the name of her engineering facility. And we did a grade 5 upgrade, long range of course, and mass management on our frameshift drive, increasing our range to I think around 52 or something like that. After that, with our new increased range on our frameshift drive, we headed out and began collecting all the data we needed for unlocking the Guardian FSD booster. So once we had everything we needed for that, went down to the planet and got that. I have a video for that as well. If you want to see that, put that more info icon so you can see that as well. So we got everything we needed. We then went back into the bubble once we've got everything collected, unlocked the Guardian FSD booster, and fitted one. And at this point, we were then passing the 60 light year jump range, So we decided to do something else. We fooled around a bit for a few hours on the stream, and then with about 2 hours left on the stream, we decided to try and go for Colonia. Didn't make it all the way in time, but I mean, we at this point, I mean, we pretty much solved what we set out to do, which was get an Anaconda. We got our 2 stretch objectives, which was engineer the frameshift drive and get the Guardian FSD booster. So at this point, we were pretty much just running around having fun in our new ships. So that was pretty much it. That's the method we ran through. I really hope that you found this video interesting, useful. If you did, give it a like down below. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you guys in space.